Hey, what's up, everybody? Tommy Meyer here. Welcome to Tommy Tonight. Now, I know that I'm hard on the president, okay? I give him a lot of flack, but that's only because I love him. Sorry, my gag reflex. Excuse me. Very unprofessional. But I do believe that... Trouble in my mouth. It tastes terrible. I do believe that when the president does something good, we should give him credit. So I was very, very happy when I saw this interview on Fox Business where he said this.
I'm all for masks. I think masks are good. I would wear, if I were in a group of people and I was close.
You would wear one?
Oh, I would. Oh, I have. I mean, people have seen me wearing one.
Woo! Yay! He said it! Woo! Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really mean that. I mean that sincerely. It's very important that you say that because as I said on my last episode, people listen to you. So good job, Mr. President. He then went on to explain that his reasoning for wearing masks is when he cannot properly social distance, it is protect other people so that he can help do his part to slow the spread. Or it was something like that. I'll let him explain it.
I had a mask on. I sort of liked the way I looked. Okay, I thought it was okay. It was a dark black mask, and I thought it looked okay. It looked like the Lone Ranger.
Hi-ho, Silver! Oh, are you sure I'm not supposed to cut holes in this?
But whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever his reasoning is, he's saying people should wear masks, and that is a good thing. I like this look, by the way. I'm gonna make this thing. It's like a band for your head. Call it a band head, or no, headband. Headband. Also a good band name. The interview covered a number of other topics, including another round of possible stimulus, extending unemployment benefits. He then went into his normal Trumpian braggadociousness. You know, I've cut the most regulations. I've got the best economy ever, best jobs, best stock market, best retail.
Best African American, best Hispanic American, best Asian American.
Everyone tells me I have the best Asian Americans.
What does that even mean? The rest of the interview talked about Joe Biden, called the new Russia story a hoax, yada, 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 yada. You know, the hits. But I want to move on because the story broke on Monday that sort of fell through the cracks. Get out of here, Silver. That sort of fell through the cracks that it's actually a pretty big deal. On Monday morning, CNN published a story that were Donald Trump not president would be shocking and appalling. Instead, just appalling. Story was titled From Pandering to Putin to Abusing Allies and Ignoring His Own Advisors, Trump's Phone Calls Alarm U.S. Officials. Okay, what two-bit poor excuse for a reporter wrote that? Oh, Carl Bernstein. Oh my. Now, for those of you who don't know who Carl Bernstein is, he is the author of the 2007 bestseller A Woman in Charge, The Life of Hillary Rodham Clinton. Oh, and he also broke the Watergate story alongside Bob Woodward. He's famous for about both equally. He is a force to be reckoned with in the journalism world, and this is a man who will do anything to get to the bottom of the story. Don't believe me? He met a guy alone in a parking garage at night named Deep Throat. Think about it. It's 2020. Nothing matters. I'm doing blowjob, Deep Throat jokes. So, what does the article actually say? Well, Bernstein's sources tell him that in phone calls with foreign leaders, President Trump was so consistently unprepared for discussions of serious issues, so often outplayed in his conversations with powerful leaders like Vladimir Putin and Turkish President Recep Erdogan, that the calls helped convince some U.S. officials that the president himself posed a danger to national security. It's all a part of Bernstein's brand new book, The Bernstein Bears, The Truth About Trump's Incompetence. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who are these senior officials? Probably some no-name bureaucrats, right? No, we're talking people like H.R. McMaster, John Bolton, Jimmy Mattis, Rexy Tills, Johnny Kaye, the gang. That's how much of an insane year 2020 has been. Both his former secretaries of state and defense, 2 national security advisors, and his longest-serving chief of staff believe that the president is a danger to national security. And that's maybe page 5 news. But back to the story, Bernstein writes, by far the greatest number of Trump's telephone discussions with an individual head of state or with Erdogan, who sometimes phoned the White House at least twice a week and was put through directly to the president on standing orders from Trump. In his calls with Erdogan, Trump was described as woefully uninformed about the history of the Syrian conflict and the Middle East generally, and often caught off guard since he lacked sufficient knowledge to engage on equal terms. The officials said that Erdogan took him to the cleaners. They also linked the president's decision to pull troops out of Syria to Erdogan's ability to get his way with Trump. And according to one high-level source, there are also existing summaries and conversation readouts of the president's discussions with Erdogan that might reinforce Bolton's allegations against Trump in the so-called Halbank case involving the major Turkish bank with ties to Erdogan and his family. In phone exchanges with Putin, the sources reported that the president talked mostly about himself, obviously, frequently in over-the-top, self-aggrandizing terms, courting Putin's admiration and approval. One source said that Putin just outplays him, comparing the Russian leader to a chess grandmaster and Trump to an occasional player of checkers.
Just make sure it's not Chinese checkers. Go fish.
Mikey. At times, they say the Putin-Trump conversation sounded like two guys in a steam bath. "Oh, Mr. President, why aren't you wearing any clothes?"
You hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No. Okay, let's hang up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you didn't hang up.
Also, why did you say come in when I knocked? Trump took special delight in trashing former presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama, saying of the two they didn't know BS. Well, if anybody knows BS, Mr. President, it's you. Meanwhile, the president regularly demeaned and bullied allies, telling Theresa May that she was weak and lacked courage, and telling German Chancellor Angela Merkel that she was stupid. Apparently, the calls with Merkel were so unusual that a German official said that special measures were taken in Berlin to ensure that their content remained secret. Yes, okay, we'll file this where we keep everything from I can't do a German accent. Yes, we'll file... That sound like Dracula. We'll file this where we keep everything from 1933 to 1945. I can't do German accent. Speaking of Trump and Nazis, the Trump campaign has a new t-shirt it's selling that looks conspicuously like a symbol used by the Nazis. You hear that? No? Because it's a dog whistle. No wonder Trump doesn't have a White House dog. That thing would be going crazy 24/7. Look, before I'm accused of accusing Trump of being a Nazi, I don't think Trump is a Nazi. But I do think that he's pandering to them to get their votes, and that is still dangerous. Finally, tomorrow is the 4th of July, and though health officials are urging Americans to scale back their plans, there's one American who will not be scaling back his plans. That is President Trump, who's planning to have a huge fireworks display at Mount Rushmore, where the governor of South Dakota went out of her way for some reason to say that there will not be any social distancing. However, that is not entirely true, as I have word that the presidents will be distancing themselves as much as possible from Trump. All right, that's all the time I got for you tonight. I'm Tommy Meyer, and I will see you next week, if we're still alive.